Hey everyone, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital Recap for Monday, April 19th. First off, Bitcoin taking a massive nosedive after we got some news coming out that the US Treasury was going to start charging some financial institutions with money laundering using cryptocurrencies. That's what came out this weekend. Also, we got another little bit of news that came out. Did a massive Chinese power outage cause Bitcoin's crash down to 50K? On-chain analyst Willy Woo argues a massive power outage in Chinese mining hub Xinjiang drove Bitcoin's violent crash down to 50K. Don't you think it's interesting that the Coinbase IPO happened right here during mass hype? This is when everybody was the most excited about cryptocurrencies. And then over the weekend, we have this news come out. So basically, what happened was retail traders got fooled several times during this. There was a nice little run up here. March 13th, faked everybody out. Everybody entered their long positions here, came back down. Basically, anybody who entered in at 60 grand, if they were trading on leverage, got liquidated as it went and tested at approximately 50K again. Then it went back up to break that old high again, right around the Coinbase hype, right on that day. Mass hysteria, how awesome cryptocurrencies were. And then this news article comes out and drops everything even lower, once again, liquidating everybody that was trading on leverage. This is why it's very, very important that you guys do not trade on leverage. The gains in cryptocurrencies are absolutely epic, and you do not need to trade on 500x leverage. There's no point to doing that. You can get wiped out in literally a heartbeat. That's exactly what happened this weekend. And I also find it funny that all this news comes out on the weekend. It doesn't come out on a Tuesday or Wednesday. A lot of this news comes out over the weekend or on holidays when people aren't paying attention, which, you guys got to make sure you guys position yourselves in these markets accordingly and do not fall for the mainstream narrative. You will get demolished. So, next up, we got, does the Coinbase IPO mark the peak for Bitcoin? Very interesting. It says Bitcoin arrived on one of the world's most important exchanges, a watershed moment that could bring crypto from the fringes to the mainstream. The original virtual asset soared on optimism that it was an important step towards Bitcoin becoming a fixture among institutional investors. It's very important that you guys remember what happened during the last bull run when everything was trading, or I should say when Bitcoin was trading at $15,000. The narrative was that it was going to $100,000 and that it was not too late to get in. But by that time, it was already up 15x from the previous all-time high of roughly $1,100, which was the price of gold at that time. Now, again, we are up how many x? 15x from the lows. And now, one of the biggest news stories that could basically ever take place for crypto, at least right now, is Coinbase going public. Again, massive hype. This is when the large institutions and retail traders will start selling into the public hype. This is the only way that they can cash out of their massive positions, is if all of the retail traders are on board thinking that the price is going to go much higher. Also, keep in mind that when it comes to capital gains and taxes, if you hold your cryptocurrencies for 1 year or longer, you pay less in taxes. Guess what? The low of Bitcoin this last bull run was 13 months ago. So now, it's funny how this all lines up, but if you were to sell out of your positions in Bitcoin and go into another asset, i.e. altcoins, you will be paying less in taxes. Do you think that's interesting that right around this time when it is beneficial for people to start pulling profits because it's not under a year now, it is now over a year. Now they can make the most of their money and have their money make more baby monies by investing in altcoins. The timing of this is impeccable. Coinbase IPO, all of this stuff happening at the same time. And then we have issues with China coming up. And then we have the US Treasury going after companies for using cryptocurrencies for money laundering when the US dollar is what's used the most in money laundering. Isn't that interesting? You guys got to tie these dots together. They are all out there for you to research and analyze. It's very easy for us to identify exactly what's going on in these markets. While I am not sure if this is the exact top yet, because obviously tops are very, very hard to call. If we're going based off previous bull runs, it would make sense that we are near the top. You know, everybody's going to think they're going to get in at 50, 60 grand and it's going to go to 150,000, 200,000, 300,000. Be very, very careful right now. A lot of the guys that I trust in this space are also out of Bitcoin. They do think altcoins have a large move to the upside that will still be taking place. But Bitcoin, probably going to want to be out of Bitcoin right now. You got max hype right now. And do we remember what happened with XRP when there was mass fear and that was the low? And now we're at mass hype for Bitcoin, and that could be near the top. Could be near the top. You're going to have XRP, max fear right down here, 17 cents with all the SEC news. That's when everybody should have been buying, and that's where we were buying when we said that publicly. 17 cents, we entered our positions, or we added to our positions. We've been accumulating XRP for quite a while now, but adding at that 17 cents was absolutely epic. Absolutely epic. Now you have Bitcoin at max hype, which means that this would be the perfect time if you're an institution or whale to start getting out of your positions and reinvesting into the altcoins. And now we've had a couple bloody days in a row here where everything's in red. You know, we were watching Dent. We were hoping to hold a penny. It clearly dropped slightly below a penny. Actually, it was about 0.8 of a penny, and we are still going to be adding to our positions here, even though we were buying right here. We have a better entry now, so we are going to do that. So if you guys have capital to do that stuff, it might be a good idea to add to your positions, especially for altcoins. If you do not have capital, it's all good. Just hold on to your positions. Do not get scared when you see the China news come out, because this happens every bull run, multiple times a bull run, and all it is media pushing the price down so they can get better entries. And so we had that Bitcoin top. So why it's always good to have a little bit of cash on the side. You had that Bitcoin top take place. You guys were taking profits up here if you guys were in Bitcoin and you had money sitting on the sidelines. Now, when the whole market drops, you know, look at Dent. And I'm going to keep coming back to Dent because we like it a lot. But you know, Dent now you're getting at, what is it, 66% off its all-time high roughly? Yeah, 66% off of its all-time high. That's an absolute steal. So we did take some profits, which we mentioned in our newsletter. We only cashed out our initial investment up here, and we just reinvested in other coins. But now we have capital sitting on the sidelines, and we can go ahead and enter down here and get an even better position, because these tiny percentages, you know, these extra 5, 10, 15, 20% that you can enter lower than what some people were buying in up here. If you can do that, when you get those compounding gains and this thing goes another 10 or 20x, those 5 or 10 percentage points make a huge, huge difference in your compounding gains. So, you know, some people, they just have a long-term strategy. They just want to buy and hold, which is great. If you are so inclined to do so and trade these markets, and you're able to have some money sitting on the sidelines after you've pulled profits, and you have the patience to wait, and you don't just transfer your money from one altcoin to the next, because you're still going to take that dip down here in either altcoin, because it's all going to sell off around the same time. And yeah, there's some outliers and some that don't drop, or they've already dropped before the big crash happens, and maybe they don't have as severe of a retrace. But if you do have cash on the sidelines, this is when you can take advantage of these crazy sales that are going on right now. So, you know, you guys do what you want. Obviously, do your own research. But, you know, we're trying to share with you some of the tips and tricks that we use to get better positions. It's always good to dollar cost average in when you can. And that way you can get a great entry price. So, with that being said, what else we got here? Going to that China news. So China softens tone on Bitcoin. This was literally 21 minutes ago. So China softens tone on Bitcoin, calling it an investment alternative after years of cracking down on crypto. And so this is how the tides and the narrative change on a day-to-day basis. Now China's calling Bitcoin The investment alternative, after years of cracking down on the popular cryptocurrency, and Beijing insiders found the comment, quote unquote, progressive. The move comes after Turkey's central bank barred the use of cryptocurrencies as a method of payment starting on April 30th. So now China is starting to change its tune, which should hopefully at least keep Bitcoin around a decent level here. I think that this level will probably end up holding based on this news that comes out, because I'm sure that, we'll end up finishing off the week here a little bit higher than when we started. But if we go back over to Bitcoin here, if this area holds and we end up getting some sort of accumulation area here where, we're basically teetering between 50 and 60K, that'll give the alt rooms a little bit of room to breathe here and make their move to the upside while this consolidates a little bit here. And then ideally what will probably end up happening is we'll make one last final push up here somewhere between here and maybe 100K. I'm thinking somewhere around 80 to 85,000. And then we'll get that big dump. If we get that big 50% dump, which is what happened in the last bull market, let's go back here. We'll pull it up. All right, so in the last bull market here, we got December 11th. Oh, this is the week, I should say, of December 11th, 2017. This was when the high came in, just under 20K. And then that following week, we had that retrace, a deep retrace at that, 46%. So when we see that knockback happen in Bitcoin over here, and we get that 46% drop, that's going to be the time that I'm going to be looking to exit on the bounce. And so if we zoom back in here, you can see that we got that nice bounce up all the way to $17,200. And these are very hard to time, but look, it took another full 2 full weeks to come back up here and test that previous candle close, or I should say, not candle close, but that candle wick that came up here was about the same price the previous week before the all-time high. It came back, it tested that, and then immediately after, you end up having that 95% correction down to $3,000 or so. And so this is what we will be looking for when that Bitcoin sell-off takes place. We will be patient. We will not panic. We will look for a 45 to 50% retrace. That's when the altcoin should start moving as Bitcoin gets knocked back. And then when it comes up to make that final finishing move, that is when you would want to be exiting out of Bitcoin. And altcoins will probably still be moving at that time, but that's going to be right around the time that you're going to probably be looking to exit your altcoin positions too. So keep that in mind. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for our clients. We want to see that nice 40 to 50% knockback in Bitcoin, and that will be our signal to go ahead and pull our positions as it starts to work its way back up and do another, 50 to 60% gain from that low or that retrace. So that's where our head's at when it comes to trading these markets. And last but not least, we got the SEC loses a battle to win the war. Ripple dissociates from pumping XRP. It says, while the defendants may have gained an edge in pretrial rulings in SEC versus Ripple Labs, are Ripple's legal troubles now over? It says, when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed legal action against Ripple Labs and its top 2 executives, alleging that its XRP coin was in fact a security, that the firm raised $1.3 billion, many wondered if XRP would even survive, and that was the narrative that they were touting. Would XRP survive during max fear, which is exactly when you guys need to be buying. It says some exchanges delisted XRP, which we know, and as of mid-April, XRP has increased 532% over the previous 12 months. So you guys are getting played by mainstream media. This is how it works. We know this. Say this time and time again. Got to do the exact opposite of whatever the media is saying. As you guys know, we think this is all smoke and mirrors. This is just a way to push the retail traders out in order for the people in the know to accumulate XRP, as it is the fastest, most scalable, best digital currency that has ever been created. And if they're going to take this thing to the stratosphere, they need to make sure that the peasants are out of the game. Unless you're smart and you've done your research, my contrarians know we're still in the game hard and will continue to be. that will do it for this edition of the Encrypted Capital Recap. If you guys like what you heard, drop us a like, comment, subscribe, support the channel, subscribe to our newsletter. We got a free version and a paid version. And with that being said, we will catch you all in the next video.